about vacations because it's, July and everyone's vacationing, right?
Right,
And what?
right.
Oh, here. No, no, no.
Oh,
I like that you're front and center and I can hear you.
to be
Okay,
yes.
is that better? It sounds like I I can hear it a little bit better. So, some of you probably remember Dr. Capagoda, like Tom. Paul, do you remember that? Okay, okay. Well, Dr. Capagoda was our medical director in cardiac rehab at UC Davis, and he's the one who established this whole program. And this was his saying that he would tell all his patients when they would get back from a cruise and had gained 7 pounds. He would say, your heart doesn't know you're on vacation. But who, including myself, has that mindset of, woo, it's vacation time. Let's get it on. Right? So the diet goes out the window. There may be a few more drinks. Exercise, who's going to, it all goes out the window, but your heart doesn't know that. And if we already have some type of limitations or a compromised heart status, a vacation may be just enough to kind of put you over the edge. And I think that was Dr. Capagoda's whole vision, is that your heart doesn't know you're on vacation. And boy, what a bummer, right? But so I wanted to put this together because this is vacation time for all of us. And I want to hear from you some of the tips that you guys use, whether we're dealing with exercise or eating healthy or drinking, or how much we're partaking in stuff and jet lag and just all of that. I want to hear from you as well. So I wanted to start off with like a quiz. Okay, so it's not pass fail. Don't anybody have quiz anxiety? So let's take a healthy travel quiz. Okay, so do you make sure you have a meal before making your way to the airport?
No.
No. And okay, so Darla does. And why, Darla? Because it's mostly, you don't have great choices. Yes. Yeah. Because if you go to the airport, first of all, you don't know, is your flight on time? Not that it's ever going to be early, right? But you are limited to what you can eat,
Yes.
right? And what is healthy. So it's always a good idea to eat a good, healthy meal before you even go to the airport. And then I like Darla, having just healthy snacks with you. I like that.
You only have that. That's what
Yeah, right. If you have nothing, then you're going to go for the Cheetos and the French fries. Or, well, I guess maybe that's just me.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep. I got stuck coming back from Florida during a bunch of rains, and I got stuck about 10 hours in an airport. And I ate my way through those 10 hours, thinking that, oh, I'm getting on this next flight. I better make sure, I have something in my stomach. Well, then that was delayed or canceled. And I ate my way till I felt awful by the time I got home at midnight. Yeah.
Well, because you pack like because they're not going to feed you on the plane and give a 5 or 6 hour flight.
Right. Good point. The meals. Oh, so so she said that she will pack her meal or good snacks because we can't count on having a meal on the planes, which is true. Those
Not that.
right. Or you have to take out a loan to buy it if they're offering it. Right. Exactly. There's free alcohol on your flight.
Always. You're in first class.
Do you indulge? Thank you for the honesty. Everyone is saying, oh, yeah, well, duh, yeah, of course.
Well, I'm thinking on empty stomachs.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it depends on where you're going, how long you're gonna be on that flight,
How much you drink.
how much you drink, what's your tolerance? Are you taking an Ambien? There's a lot of variables. So you really have to take that into consideration. Plus, if you're thinking about, I'm taking a red eye and I'm crossing quite a few time zones, it's a great time for me to sleep. Maybe I'll have a cocktail or two. Alcohol will actually interrupt that sleep pattern. So you probably would not sleep as well on a red eye if you did not partake in alcohol. Okay. So breakfast, nah. Thoughts on breakfast?
When you get some,
Before you go.
Yeah, yeah,
depends on when you,
yeah. I guess there's a lot of variables with that.
like if I have one of those crack dawn flights, my stomach doesn't take. it.
Yeah, if the flight is super, super early, you may not be hungry at that time. But again, those snacks are going to be important because eventually you're going to get to that point where, whoo, I'm hungry. And we can't skip a meal. That's when we get into trouble. When we skip a meal and then the first layover you have, you're going to the burgers and the fries. The waiter asks you if you want dessert after your last meal. You say,
Yes. What is it? What are my choices?
The waiter or the air, like,
this is now you're in Costa Rica or Santorini Island. And
Yeah.
so the waiter asks if you want dessert after your last meal. You say, okay, how about there's 4 people at your table and we'll take 1 dessert and 4 spoons. Yeah.
Any restaurant.
That's a really good idea, right? Because how much dessert do we really need?
How big it's.
We all have a sweet tooth. It's good, but do we need a full piece of cheesecake? Sometimes we do, but probably more times than not, we don't. Okay, you're in an Airbnb with access to a kitchen. How often do you cook there if you're in Texas for 10 days? Ooh, Texas with all that red meat. How often do you cook for yourself or have your family cook for you or whatever? If you have access to a kitchen, but you're on vacation, what's,
We usually cook breakfast. 'cause it's-
eat breakfast stuff, maybe. And then maybe go out or go out once.
so I like that. We have our expert traveler who's going to be joining us. So yeah, so I like that idea of taking advantage of having access to a kitchen and maybe having a quick breakfast or having your lunch there, maybe out to meals 1 time a day, or really limiting how many times you go out to a restaurant. And why is that?
We eat too much.
You always eat too much at a restaurant and it's the wrong kind of food. How does it taste?
Delicious.
Mwah. Chef's kiss. But again, we could always share our entrees. That's another thing. Do you do that, Karen? Karen's a avid traveler and you don't want to miss out on native cuisine, but it is so much food. So I like the idea of sharing your entree.
Also, I had a comment at the airport. I always bring food.
Ah,
I always bring food to the airport. And because especially with international flights, you have to be 3 hours ahead of time.
Yes.
Even flights within the country is 2 hours.
yes.
And you go try to find a good salad at a airport restaurant and it first costs you like $15 or $20 and it's not even that good.
Right.
I just bring a big salad and put it in one of those the plastic containers that when I'm done with it, I can throw it out.
Yep.
And I've gotten many, many compliments on the quality of my salads.
What do you do with the
Very.
dressing?
I usually have a little, separate little jar that I put the dressing in.
So it's less than 3 ounces. It gets
Yeah.
through
Oh, yeah.
TSA. Yeah.
Hmm.
Ah, very good. I like that. And by the way, good salad airport is not a thing. Is not a thing. You gotta look at the expiration dates on salads in well, anything
Well,
in
it
an
depends on
airport.
what restaurant you're in. San Francisco International has some lovely restaurants, but they're just so expensive.
Yeah, they're
You know,
expensive.
I don't like starting out my trip with a $25 salad.
Right.
Yeah, good point.
But I always bring snacks. I have a big bag of like trail mix and bars, energy bars.
Yeah.
Protein bars, things like that. Because you never can tell if you have to be out of your hotel room at 6 o'clock in the morning and get on the bus and you may not,
Right.
have time for breakfast. You always have time for coffee and protein
Right.
bars.
Exactly.
So I always have a big stash of those.
Yep, that's very smart. Okay. Bus tour or walking tour?
Depends on the time of day.
Yes.
I always take the bus tour, the hop on, hop off bus tour
Oh, yeah.
on my first day in a new city. I'll take the hop on, hop off bus tour because it gives me, a picture of the whole geographic area
Yes.
and a view of sites that I want to get back to. But not only that, it gives me a geographic location.
Yes,
And how
yes.
easy it is to combine seeing more than one place in one day.
Have you guys heard of Rick Steves? Yeah. He has a walking tour for every that you can't do obviously the whole city. I like that idea, like Karen said, that hop on, hop off tour bus. But Rick Steves has always a great audible walking tour for almost any city.
I really like to travel on tours, period.
Yeah.
And they often, the very first day of the tour, will shove you on the bus and do the wide city. And usually whoever I'm traveling with, we'll do that and then we'll pick what we want to come back to. And then that afternoon, we'll hop on local transport and go back and see.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Because it gives you a feel for what's out there.
Yeah, kind of the same thing that Karen just said,
Yeah.
jumping on
But do it
an
with
overview of the city tour and then deciding what you wanted.
where you want to put-
Okay, you're weaving your way through the tube. That means you're in Europe, right? Stairs or escalators? Now, I have to also preface this with, do you have a backpack? Or do you have your suitcase? Hopefully it's just a carry-on. But what do you use?
Escalator.
Yeah,
Well, that's the
honest.
point of, I lost the word, what is price? But, managing how your energy is.
Oh, good point. Good point.
I wear
Pacing.
myself out being healthy on the stairs. I'm not gonna make it.
Yes. Pacing yourself. Very, very good point. Okay. What's in your first aid kit when you travel? First of all, who has a first aid kit? Seriously?
Still travel without Neosporin and alcohol pads and Band-Aids.
Spoken like a nurse, which Karen is. Exactly. So it doesn't take up hardly any room. Band-Aids, Neosporin, Tylenol, Motrin, maybe, we'll talk about this. I have a slide on it. But yeah, I think first aid kits are important because that's the last thing you want to do if you got a big fat blister is go walking to find Band-Aids, right? Ugh. And we've all had blisters on our vacations. We all have. Okay, very good. I'm impressed. We're going to take this quiz again at the end of this and just see if there's a different perspective. Okay, so what do you do to stay healthy on vacation? So this picture just is a little too close to home.
Don't do that. That is not.
That's not very healthy. But it's
No.
not, but I
Ye-
mean, I have occasionally had big hamburgers on vacation.
Yes.
I don't,
No. But we can't do that every day.
so I have a physical therapy exercise routine. So zoom in. Okay, I have a physical therapy exercise routine that takes 25 minutes, and I do that religiously every morning when I'm on vacation. I do it because a lot of it's in bed.
Yeah, yes.
They-
And, and then whenever I stay places that have pools, I do my water aerobics.
Yep. So physical therapy typically, I think that's brilliant, Karen. And most physical therapists will tell you doing any type of stretching routine should be done first thing in the morning, even better if it's before you even get out of bed. And so just incorporating that as as part of your lifestyle, especially on vacation, brilliant. Okay, tips to eat healthy while you're on your trip. So eat before you go to the airport, unless you don't want to have too much in your tummy. Drive past the drive-through. There's nothing good at a drive-through. No, let me take that back. There's nothing healthy. Let's be honest. Save space for treats. You know, we are on vacation, so we don't have to say no to desserts or to treats, especially if you are lucky enough to be in France. Are you gonna say no to some of their patisseries, their pastries? Or you're in Italy, are you gonna say no to gelato? No.
Every day.
Okay. So you do want to partake, but again, it's just pacing yourself and looking at what you're eating over the day. Yeah. Beware of buffets.
Oh, yeah.
I know. So that's what I think about. Reiko just said, what about on a cruise when we have buffets? What is that noise?
That's me.
Oh,
I have to go catch my breath.
okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Who's been on a cruise before? Yeah, and those 24-hour buffets.
Say.
Yeah, I mean, that's so tempting, right? One of the gentlemen that I think about that talked to Dr. Capagoda had been on a 3-week cruise going to Hawaii and then circling all the islands in Hawaii. And he put on, I don't know how much weight he put on, but he's like, you have access to food 24 hours a day. And Dr. Capagoda's true blue statement, your heart doesn't know you're on vacation. And this gentleman had already had,
And it's more than access. I think they have to be pushed it, especially at dinner.
Yeah.
7-course meals.
oof,
Oh, yeah. The one cruise I was on, took 2 hours to dinner. I mean, this food. And we were all finally moving again. And starting to feel comfortable again and start announcing midnight buffet. And we had to just go look, we were just curious. And they had somebody narrating the buffet. I swear like it was a sexual event.
That sounds very tempting.
What cruise was this?
But they didn't provide because.
Okay, okay,
Can you repeat some of that, please?
no.
No.
So she was saying that the cruise that she was on, they had just finished a 7-course meal. And then they were narrating what the buffet was now open, but they were narrating like it was a sexual experience. And but
The other thing about traveling with food is don't eat late. It's,
yeah, eating late, good point.
Sleep.
Yeah. So that's the next bullet. Stay regular with your eating times. First of all, so you don't get too hungry, like don't skip a meal. But then, yeah, do you want to eat at 10 o'clock at night or a 7-course meal that you're eating into 9 o'clock. Yeah,
But in France and Italy, dinner
That's
time is
standard.
8 o'clock.
Yeah. yeah.
Right.
It is, but well, okay, so you're talking about like if you're on a tour, if you're in a different country, because I traveled with my husband and we would eat when we wanted to eat. The restaurants were open. So we would eat at 6 or 6:30, 7, whatever, whenever we were hungry.
Strange Americans are-
Yeah, no, we were the weird Americans, but they took our money.
And they brought you food.
And they brought us food and it was good. And it was good. Yeah. Eating healthy while on your trip. So what about visiting food markets? Their little farmer markets or whatever markets they have. And I think about France, like these little corner markets that they'd have, and they would display the fruit like it was just so
Great stands right there.
great. Yes, they made it so appetizing and it was healthy foods. Yeah. So I like visiting food
the
markets.
street things, every-
Mm-hmm. And then again, packing snacks. We would take our tours and I always made sure I had a thing of almonds because it's just a handful to kind of, if you're really hungry, but it's not, there wasn't an opportunity to eat, it would satiate for sure. Again, making your own meals where you have control of what you're eating, right? How healthy it is, what your portion control is, all of that's really, really important. And if you think about this in the bigger picture, if you're incorporating some of these tips, you're going to prevent some of that weight gain, right? And beware of sugary drinks and alcohol. I know the wine, a Mai Tai in Hawaii. First of all, if you can afford it. But yeah, there's a lot of calories in those sugary drinks and especially in alcohol. One of my girlfriends said she's planning a trip to Europe and she said, I am going to either have dessert or have a drink, but I'm not going to do both. And so I'm wondering how that's going to fare for her. So, I'm hearing some doubting Thomases here. What about taking a cooking class? Yeah, I've done that. And it's really fun. You get a part of the culture. Yeah, that was really fun. That's a great idea. Any other tips that we haven't talked about? Anyone want to share?
Well, usually when you're on a tour, that a lot of them have breakfast included at the hotel, and the breakfasts are really getting to be much healthier. The options they have, they have options of having yogurt and fruit and granola rather than only having pastries and
Yes.
eggs and bacon and sausage and all of that. They'll still have that option, the eggs and bacon and sausage.
Yes.
But it seems to me that they're offering like a hard-boiled egg instead of only having fried eggs.
Yes.
Those ugly scrambled eggs.
Yes. Yes. I love that. That's all I would ask is I want an option. Because maybe I'll take just a scoop of their hash browns and a scoop of their cheesy scrambled eggs that are, 3 hours old. But then I'll fill up on some yogurt and berries. Yeah. Yeah.
That would be bringing water with you.
Oh, we're going to talk about that. That's huge. He said bringing water with you everywhere you go. Yep. Yep.
And alcohol, like.
Oh, I thought you were going to say alcohol. Oh, and alcohol.
Alcohol with you everywhere you go.
Bring a water bottle full of alcohol.
Out of a can, out of a bottle, you want to wipe it.
Your hands. Do you want to keep your hands clean? Yep. Yep. So how do you get exercise How do you get exercise in while on vacation? Now, most of us, we're walking our tails off, right? When you're on vacation, right? Most of us. So see the sights, taking a walking tour. I'll tell you that those Audible tours, Rick Steves has one for every city. I love them. They're good and they're free. It just takes a little bit of time to download it right on your phone. And you do it before you go on the trip. And it's easy. Yeah. He doesn't do anything wild and crazy. Rick Steves is, oh my gosh, he's a national treasure. He has traveled all over and his business is, he has books on every country and how to travel it, but he gives you all the backstory and skip this place if blah, 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 blah. If you need to know a place where to put your luggage, because you're only going to be in Naples for 3 hours, go to this bus station and locker 740. You know, he knows
He's-
everything.
he's, um,
Yeah, he's got a show on PBS, but
And he's got a great website.
yes, yes. And every time we've vacationed out of the country, we have a Rick Steves book and we just highlight the things we want to do based on him. And he hasn't led us astray.
And where to stay.
And where to stay,
Yeah.
where to eat, what each little neighborhood offers. I mean,
Yeah.
he knows. Yeah.
When I was in Ireland and we were just free traveling, one of the women with us was just like, every day we would go, okay, we're gonna do this today. And she'd say, what does Rick say? We'd have to go read Rick. Because he was our big bossy guy. And you're right, he doesn't need you to stress.
No. My friend who is going to Italy, who will only drink or have dessert, but not both, is doing a Rick Steves tour, like the actual tour. So I've never done that.
Wow.
So I'll be kind of curious. Has anyone done a Rick Steves tour? And okay.
You get so much walking. Worry for that trip. It really, I don't think I ever felt like I was overeating. I mean, there was always food and often like mini appetizers where people would try. But just a little bit of thing. So I would highly recommend it if you go on one.
Yeah.
But you will walk and believe it. You know.
Okay. Good
Be
to
ready
know.
for that, yes.
And if you're in Europe, there will be a lot of stone stairs.
And a lot of
Yeah.
Stairs.
And walking on cobblestones. and
Walking on cobblestones, lots of stairs.
huge sounds.
Yeah. So here we go. Take the stairs. You know, if you have the option, but again, I think it was mentioned, which I think is very important, pace yourself because you don't want to blow out all your energy, leaving the hotel and going up, 7 flights of stairs and then you're done for the day, right? Can't do anything else, right? Embrace your surroundings and get out and walk and see what you have in your neighborhood of wherever you're traveling to. Be adventurous. Monitor how many steps you do per day. Who does that? Who does that just even today? You have an iPhone, the app is part of your iPhone and you can look it up. And if you don't know how, I can look it up for you. It's a good barometer. Like, oh my gosh, I've only done 2,000 steps today. Ugh. But on vacation, 10,000, 15, 20,000. Who's rubbing my feet, right? It can be a lot. Karen, how many can you rack up?
I have done 22, but that's
It's
a stretch.
that's a lot. Yeah.
About 7 miles.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Oof.
I've done
Oof.
7.
Yeah.
Not every day.
No, you have to pace yourself. But you know what? Making exercise your vacation. I haven't done cruises, but both my sisters have, and they always incorporate, like there's always a walking track or a gym. And so they always incorporate exercise on the cruise ships. I know that you can also ask for like a vegetarian or a low-fat diet on a cruise ship, but they would never go that far too. They're not that crazy. Yes, pools for water exercise. Yep, all of that.
The cruise trips that are on the rivers in Europe don't feed you all day. In fact, they don't understand why Americans like to eat all the time. They feed really good, healthy, free meals.
Hey, really?
And so why would you need to eat again before dinner? You know, it's just veg. But they don't have that focus.
That's interesting.
The ocean.
It was said that the cruises on the rivers in Europe don't have such a plethora of food accessibilities on those cruises that
No, in
it's,
fact, between meals, you can't get anything.
oh,
Well, you get drinks, the bars open, but they don't have any kind of snacks. to pick
oh,
up.
okay.
So if you're gonna go on river cruise, make sure you have your own snacks.
Ah, which you always should have your own snacks. Okay, let's talk about hydration. Because we have to remember our body is about 60% water, right? It's key. It is key. And how easy is it to forget to drink?
Yeah.
Can you come up and show us what you did with your cup? So Dave, it's Dave, right?
Yeah.
So Dave has this really great idea. I want you to come sit about, he's got a cup that the top of it, you can just turn the cup and he just put 1, 2, 3, 4. So he can tell how many times he's drank a full flask of his water, right?
Yeah, so I'm actually restricted on the fluids I drink, and I'm supposed to stay. I'm a little behind because that's my first one, but this is 64 ounces if I do all 4.
So let me put it in front of the camera.
I'm also maybe bringing in some bands you can put around, and then slide something so you can put around any cup, because that's the kind that if you have a screw-on kind, a screw-on top, then that obviously isn't going to work. So today from Amazon, I was just telling them I'm getting these bands, and hopefully I'll figure out some way to print on them, maybe 4 or 5, and then you can just stick it on your cup and take this. Found these paper clips with a little heart on them. And hopefully you can just then slide the heart over whatever number you've just drank. And that way keep track of it.
I think that's
So,
brilliant.
Hopefully I'll do it. If I do, I'll leave them here and you guys can use it.
That's a great idea.
Oh, this one? I don't remember, but I saw these on Amazon because I was just at my cardiologist and she loved the idea. And I thought, well, I'd start buying some of these for some friends and putting the numbers. But then you have the screw on. But I did see these for like $10 on Amazon.
Thrift
I'm
them.
gonna try the band first because the band's a little more universally, universal in use. What's it called? What's it title? These tumblers or mugs. Or,
No, the band.
the band? No, I'm just making the band up.
No,
But so just tell them, and just keep looking until you see that description.
Yeah, what would you call these?
That's like a tumbler, but let me tell you, and Dodie will attest to this. Go to your local thrift shop because there will be 25 of them for $2.
not with that measuring.
He wrote that in.
Yeah, I wrote that on.
Oh.
So with indelible ink, so I just,
So the lid has a little notch. and you
Yeah.
just-
well, then it's not, it's just so you can take the side and
Right,
right.
of course, you have to take it on.
Yeah, so then that just is,
That's an interesting idea. It's a very
But
I think it's a great idea.
The lid comes with little, it's different though, right?
yeah, well, it's just a
regular lid.
It's just a regular cup, really.
Oh,
In all
okay.
fairness,
Yeah.
you might have to visit 2 or 3 thrifts.
Yeah. But you can get, like, the Yetis are all screw on. I have a Yeti. And then you have, this type, what would you call this? Not a
Tumbler.
mug,
Tumbler.
a tumbler?
Yeah.
Okay, well, anyway, they're not very expensive and you get I know the ones you're talking about, but the ones for $10 actually, like Thermos, I think makes one. It depends.
I had a cubicle mate who had a band that would flash. Like if she hadn't taken a drink in an hour, it would flash because she'd have it on her desk and it was a way to remind her to drink. It was a little annoying. So someone's alarm. So some benefits of routine hydration. We all know this. First of all, okay, can we talk about this? Travel and constipation. Okay, we're amongst friends, right? Isn't it the worst? So hydration. I like little fiber fiber gummies, or whatever you need because you don't want to get constipated. But hydration is really probably the root of one of the best things you can do to prevent constipation.
When you get dehydrated, you get woozy.
Well, all of that, yes. Yeah, and we're going to talk about jet lag and hydration with jet lag as well.
Well, jet happened there, so.
Being super hydrated can minimize cravings for sugar. Your energy level will stay elevated if you're hydrated enough. Being hydrated will support your immunity to make sure that your immune system is up and so you won't be susceptible to getting sick, which is like the last thing. You're more susceptible in travel if you're on an airplane or in a cruise ship or in close proximity and no one wears a mask anymore. Yeah, you're sharing a lot of things. And it can minimize the effects of jet lag, and you can actually have a quicker recovery if you're hydrated. So I try to drink 2 of these, and sometimes at 9 o'clock at night, I'm paying for it because I'm guzzling it. And then, by midnight, I'm up to the bathroom. But hydration is just so, so important. So whatever you can do.
I have a pulmonologist friend who said that for every, you have a glass of water for every hour you're on the plane.
Oh,
8 ounces.
I like that. And then it scares the bejeebers out of me. And why is that?
Repeat it.
So she said, was it your cardiologist or just a doctor?
Pulmonologist.
Oh, pulmonologist said, have 8 ounces of water for every hour you're on the plane. And so what does that mean?
Crawl over 2 people.
You have to crawl over people. But you know what? Always choose an aisle seat. You are so right. You have to be hydrated on those planes because just the planes itself, you're becoming dehydrated. But oh, those bathrooms are a nightmare. They're a nightmare.
And then there's turbulence.
Oh, I'm glad we're amongst friends. Yeah.
Coming up from the bulkhead on home front. Because nobody goes in front of you. It's a little extra money, but I guarantee you on a long flight it's worth it. If you sleep, nobody gets you up
Yeah.
when you're sleeping. You don't have to get anybody else up. So you have a great deal more freedom.
Yeah. So Dave was saying that he pays for the bulkhead and that way he has less interruption and he has a little bit more leg room and it works for him. Yep. Okay, so let's talk about jet lag because it's the worst. Anybody like jet lag? I mean,
Depends which direction you're going.
it does.
If you're going east, oh man, because you're getting up earlier than your body clock is used.
We're going to talk about that. That's right. I'm kind of curious because Karen and I are good friends and she is a world traveler. What's your take? What's your number 1 tip for jet lag?
As soon as I arrive in a foreign country, I just try to normalize myself to their time frame. And that means if I get in at 7 o'clock in the morning, I don't go to the hotel and take a nap. I stay up and I make sure I'm busy all day, and I don't go to bed at 7 o'clock at night. I make sure I stay up till at least 9. I do have several things that routines for bedtime. I use a meditation routine. I have,
Oh,
what do you call those things that you say over and over?
oh, mantras? Yeah.
I have a mantra that I use at bedtime. I also have, I use a CPAP for sleep, and I use essential oils for sleep. And I think that all of those things kind of combine to help me to relax and get into the routine.
Yep. So smart. And those are some of the tips. Just a second, I want to tell a quick story. I went to Sweden with my mom, and we landed probably, I think maybe sometime in the afternoon. And my mom, who was a world traveler, said, "Do not sleep, Cari." And it's like, I'm exhausted. I'm just going to take a nap. And she's like, "Don't do it." Well, I slept for probably 4 or 5 hours, which was just enough, like waking up 8 or 9. And then I was up all night as my mom is snoring in the bed next to me. All of a sudden, by 3 Sweden time, I'm starving. I'm starving because I shot my own foot 7 times. I cannot believe. And my mom, "I told you." I could not wait for her to wake up, because it's like, I have to go to the buffet. I am so starving. And I did. I shot my own foot. And so I try to do exactly what Karen said, is try to acclimate yourself as quickly as possible to the time zone that you're in. And Dave, what were you going to add?
Oh, and this is really a huge, I found a lot when I was working. But a psychologist said, change your watch the moment you get on the plane to the time zone you're going, because unconsciously you're looking at your watch, and it makes a huge impact.
It does. And so I refuse to do that, because I want to know, well, if it's 4 o'clock California time, I really don't need to go to bed. And then when should I eat? And I mean, I get all screwed up by doing that. And my husband would say, "Would you just set your clock to this time?" And it's like, "But I want to know." And he's like, "Why?"
Well, the other thing that they gave a tip on is, when you get there, everybody likes to say, well, it's only 4 o'clock my time.
That's me.
And you don't want to be doing that. You want to just catch yourself. Don't say that to any of the people you're visiting or anything else. Forget about what the time is, where you were, and you will acclimate faster. And it's absolutely true.
I agree.
Dave was saying that, well, it's just Paul.
Yeah, but it's being recorded.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So Paul, I'm sorry, Dave. Dave said to acclimate your watch right away the minute you land to that time.
No, before you take off.
Oh, before you take off.
Yeah,
Ooh,
when you get on the plane, change it to the time of your destination.
It works.
And it works. I mean, if there's one tip that works better for me than anything else, it was that.
I don't know if I could do that, because I want to know. Okay, so Dave says, and I am planning a trip.
Try it.
I will try it. First, I'm doing New York, but then after that, I'm doing Portugal. So I will try this. Ugh. But he said before you even leave, acclimate or change your watch to the time it's going to be whatever country you're going to be in. And then don't talk about what time it is back in California. And it's like a mindset, but yeah, it will be hard, but I will take you up on that one. Yeah.
No, take care, but can you, I don't know if you have an iPhone, but can you fix, I mean, put the time zone you're gonna be going to, but then have your other
per city, so that way you know what time it is, and you just take a.
World clock, there's all kinds of apps that will tell you that.
Yeah, because sometimes I look like I have a friend who, when he goes on vacation, I don't know what time it is, so I put the city. for the-
That's a good idea.
That way
So-
I can still have the time zone.
Yes.
But then if you wanna know what time it is in Sacramento.
So you can use the world clock or any apps on your phone to really know where you're gonna be or what time it is at any city, or even if you want to know what it is back in Sacramento, though that may go against our mental
I don't know.
focus. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Unless you're trying to make a phone call home.
Oh, yeah, you want to.
Yeah, good point. If you're making phone calls, you want to
then
know that,
Not call it.
yeah, you don't want to be calling at 2 a.m.
For years, my brother was in Tokyo, so I had to figure out when I could call, because they're 9 hours earlier tomorrow.
Right, right, right. When families in another, yeah, in another country.
Across the internet.
Well, what I find is that no matter what steps I take, there's always 2 or 3 nights that I wake up just wide awake in the middle of the night.
100%.
Slept for like 3 or 4 hours.
Yes,
And so I have an app on my phone called Calm.
yes,
C-A-L-M,
yes.
plays, you know, you have your choice of meditations or calming music or nature sounds or whatever, and you can set a timer on it, so that helps. And then a lot of people that I've talked to said that they listen to podcasts because podcasts are time limited, you know, they maybe last for an hour, hour and 15 or something. And so they'll listen to that and then they'll fall asleep while they're listening to them. That doesn't help me because if I'm listening to something, I listen.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. My question is, like when I've woken up at 3 a.m. because I'm in a different country, I'm ready to start the day. And there is not, I am up. So you're able to fall back to sleep listening to Calm? Wow. Okay. That's discipline. Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about jet lag. Hold on, because I want to make sure that we have plenty of time here. Jet lag is a temporary sleep disorder caused by the misalignment of the body's circadian rhythm with the time zone the traveler is in. The circadian rhythm determines the daily patterns of various bodily processes like digestion, mood, energy, hormonal, and nervous stimulation. And so here are the symptoms. You know, this sounds so flu because you feel like crap when you're jet lagged, right? Daytime fatigue, sleeplessness, stomach issues, impacted concentration and performance. Overall, you feel like crap, right? Right? What were you going to say?
Well, I think so. I've noticed in travel that whenever I go east, if I'm leaving the country, I'm gonna lose some night of sleep. So I'm gonna arrive feeling awful anyway, because I was awake all night. I mean, there's only red eyes. But if you travel west, you just have a very long day.
Yeah, yeah.
And so the solution is only travel.
So traveling east is very, very difficult. It is difficult, but traveling, so she's decided she's only going to travel west because it's so much easier.
Pretty soon I'll get back home again.
So navigating jet lag. So adjusting your sleep-wake schedule before your trip. Gradually shift your bedtime and wake time to align closer to your destination time zone. For westward travel, go to bed later, and for eastward travel, go to bed earlier. And prioritize sleep before your trip. So start off with, your cup full. Make sure that you're sleeping well. To those days leading up to your journey, you don't want to be sleep deprived because that can make your jet lag symptoms worse. And we can't discount time bright light exposure. Like that sun does everything to your circadian rhythm. So Light exposure significantly influences your body's circadian rhythm. So after traveling west, expose yourself to evening light to adjust to a later time zone. Traveling east, seek morning light to adapt to an earlier time zone. So that's something I will incorporate as well. Again, stay hydrated. It does everything. Drink plenty of water before, during, and after your flight to combat dehydration, which can intensify jet lag symptoms. Avoid alcohol and caffeine as they can disrupt sleep and dehydrate you. Try to sleep on the plane. If it's nighttime at your destination, try to sleep during the flight. Use earplugs, headphones, eye masks to minimize distractions. I typically have not done that, but I will. I'm going to use headphones and a mask. Adjust to the local schedule immediately. This is what our experts have been telling us in the room. Once you arrive, try to follow the local time zone for sleeping, eating, and other activities. Okay, so room and board. So when you're booking, check out the amenities first. You know, make it easy to squeeze in workout time by booking a hotel with a gym or a pool. If that's important to you, if that's something you want to do. Scope out the neighborhood for gyms and workout, maybe yoga classes, anything like that. You can get exercise anywhere. Like Karen was saying, before she even gets out of bed, she does a 25-minute series of workouts, stretches. You can do it anywhere. You can bust a move in your hotel room to keep fit, right? Everybody has your smartphone. You've got YouTube. There's all, you can access Linda Palmer's circuit by your phone in Europe. Stash food. Ask for a room with a mini fridge and keep it stocked with healthy snacks like fruits, veggies, nuts, to avoid room service, or just to have it in the room when, you know, you want something. Just a bunch of grapes. It's very smart. Rest, relaxation, and meditation. So keep work away. Disconnect from social media and from emails. If this is a vacation, be good to yourself and make it a true vacation. Free your mind. Meditating for just a few minutes each day can help relieve anxiety and stress. I like that Calm app that Karen was talking about. And get the most of out of the time off, like doing activities that you enjoy, keeping your cell phone off, and sharing times with friends and family, or alone time if that's what you need. Ensure that you'll get the most bang for your buck out of your vacation. Okay, your first aid kit on vacation. So what do you need? Band-Aids, because you're going to get a blister. Band-Aids. Antiseptic wipes, alcohol wipes, ibuprofen, Motrin, Tylenol, antihistamines, anti-diarrhea medication, and of course, any of your personal medications, be sure you have that, insect repellent, sunscreen, and a thermometer. I don't typically travel with a thermometer, but that's probably a good idea. Yeah.
And they have those ones that you just, it's like a patch or something you put on your forehead, and that can read it, let you know that it's whether you're normal or not.
And by your phone or what?
No, it's just like a Band-Aid shaped thing
Yeah,
that you could throw in your toiletry kit,
yeah.
and it just kind of it tells you.
It be by changing color, or what does it do?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I can't remember what it's called.
So let's take that quiz again. So do you make sure to have a meal before you making your way to the airport? Yeah. There's free alcohol on your flight. Do you indulge? Lightly. Breakfast or nah?
Yes.
The waiter asks if you want dessert after your last meal. You say,
Sure.
I'm sharing. You're in an Airbnb with access to a kitchen. How often do you cook there? Okay. I'd say 1 or 2 meals a day. Yeah. Bus tour or walking tour? Depends, but walking.
Steve's.
Little of.
What?
Steve's.
Steve's. You're weaving your way through the tube. That's the rail system in Europe. Stairs or escalators. Depends on your luggage
And your pace.
and your pace. Yeah. And your knees. And what's in your first aid kit? Does everybody travel with a first aid kit?
Basic.
Smart.
Yeah.
Basic.
Well, it's smart to do, but who does it? Okay, almost everybody does. Good. Okay, so keep your heart, mind, and body happy, even on vacation. We all deserve a wonderful vacation, and we can maintain a healthy lifestyle too, while having the time of our lives in faraway lands, or even a few states away, or in our backyards, having a staycation. But we just want to keep our hearts happy. What questions do you have for me? Yeah.
I think the issue, all my friends are old farts like me, and I hear a lot of talk about dealing with airports. Airports are intimidating,
Oh,
the crowds running around, just cutting you off with their suitcase. It's a really good place to get knocked over easily, or to just fall. Not because they did anything, except it's just so much commotion. So I am a great believer in wheelchairs. They are wonderful. They do everything, and they make you so much safer to fall from here.
okay. This is a point worth talking about, and I'm going to add it to this deck slide here because she brought up using just the hustle and bustle, the crowds of an airport, and the potential for falling, getting
And you don't
knocked.
know where the fall risks are.
Yeah. And so she utilizes, and a few people agreed, using the wheelchairs. And listen, my mom would come out and visit me twice a year up until she was like 90. And she was flying from O'Hare and or Midway. And she always just, it was a wheelchair.
It's free.
It's free.
Where you go to pick your seat assignment.
Yeah. I mean, all of it, all the way out to the curbside where I would pick her up.
They'll pick up your luggage.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was perfect. They're so
And they meet
nice.
you at the door.
Yes. No, they do everything for you. So it's definitely something. I'm going to add that. Thank you for bringing that up because
Safety issue.
it's a
It's not
safety issue
dead.
for sure.
Really stabilized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
bring-
that?
Bring
There's
a
a lot
lot.
of-
Oh, money for tips.
Don't
Yeah.
forget your tip.
Yeah, Tom.
Everything that was presented here makes me glad that I don't travel.
You have to explain that. Tom says everything that was presented makes him happy. He doesn't travel.
To make all these And I noticed too that when I was younger and I did travel, it's a lot different now than it was then. There's a lot of these things that come up. I mean, there's the whole eating thing, which we all try to do better on. But there are vegan cruises you can go on.
Yeah.
But as I'm reading in all of these things, I'm saying, thank God I don't travel.
Well, I think that's one perspective.
It's just me.
Yeah. But I think you did spend a lot of your time traveling though, right? At some point in your life, you were a traveler.
I did. I didn't have, wasn't aware of the heart situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of these things, because the whole point of travel that is being put out there is eat and eat and eat and eat.
100%.
So,
100%.
so the accommodations that you have to make just make me think, I couldn't do that.
Home looks good, doesn't it?
When I travel, I have a minimal way of traveling. Where I just use my van and I do what I want to do and I can cook what I want to cook.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Yeah.
Get my exercise, I can do everything I want. I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
But if you want to travel to foreign lands, those are good advice.
Right.
Whew.
And I wonder,
Thanks, Tom.
I find myself, and I hope it's not a closing down age kind of thing, because I try to stay pretty alive. Is that now when I think about places, and like I wanted to go to Edinburgh, not, I lived in England, but I didn't get to spend time in Edinburgh. And I thought, well, I'll just bypass all the exhausting stuff. I could fly to Dublin, catch a hop over to Edinburgh, have an Airbnb, eat right, sleep when I darn well please. And it would just enjoy the Scots. And then I thought Edinburgh, more beautiful stone buildings, been there, done that. Another cathedral, another castle, or as they say in England, ABC, another bloody cathedral. And so a lot of places that I think I like should go see, it's like, it's just gonna look like what I've already seen many, many, many times. And why use up all that energy to,
I think that's
so.
that's
and
a
I hope
specific
that's not a
outlook that you may have,
terrible attitude problem. But I
because
really
a lot of
have
people
seen-
still do like to travel.
Yeah.
And you're lucky that you've seen a lot of things.
I've traveled a lot.
I think we don't
Good
want to
point.
shoot our own foot when it comes to new adventures and new experiences, and you don't have to leave the United States to get that.
Right. and
But some
that's the
people do.
other thing I'd rather see. And I've seen all of it.
Yeah.
But I really like America,
Yeah.
and there's always somewhere new in America I could go.
Well, thank you for sharing your perspective on that. Any other questions? Does anyone have? Yeah, Dave.
Could you comment on swelling of the ankles and feet?
Oh my gosh. Well, so you don't have to have a heart issue to have that type of swelling, right? And so prophylactically or just preventatively using any type of compression socks, they're so hard to get on. But you know what? What's worse than walking around with swollen feet that don't fit into your shoes? Yeah. Yeah, and that's the other thing.
Hard, I mean, you don't have to sprint.
No, but at least standing up every 2 hours, that's another thing. Right, right.
Walk up and down.
But
So good.
so be mindful of how much salt you're taking in. Don't eat those salty pretzels, right? That they're serving you. So be mindful, and those compression. Sharon, is there anything else, to prevent, edema? Walking. Yeah. Yeah.
Ankle pump, when you're sitting there, not just sitting still and not moving.
Yeah.
You want to get the pumping and some of the muscle quality by, doing toe raises or walking.
So Sharon was saying, so any type of movement, whether you're standing up and walking or at least pumping, you want to prevent blood clots, but you want to really encourage circulation, because that circulation is going to keep all that water from settling in your ankles and in your feet. Compression stockings as well, if you can get them on. Yeah.
All question to that. Would compression socks stretch your blood?
No, they help, I mean, part of the reason that you're having fluid in there is as we get older, we all have vascular insufficiency. It just means that our veins that are in our legs are not as elastic as so the pumping, they're supposed to pump, and we've lost that pumping ability. So the sock kind of assists with the pumping. Kind of a pumping hand.
Yeah.
But if the socks are too tight and you've got something that's really restricted, like at the top of the socks where it's cutting off circulation, then yes, yeah. So you want them not to be too tight on the very top so that it's cutting off.
And how long can you wear?
Wear them during the whole plane trip.
10 hours?
Say if you're on a 10-hour plane trip, it'd be good to take them off for a little while during the plane trip. The compression socks that do work that aren't so hard to get on are just the ones you can get in a running store. They're for runners who want compression during running. And those are pretty easy to get.
And are those the high ones
Yeah, they go up pretty high and they can go up just below the knee.
of the running sock?
Yeah.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, you can get them like at Sweet Feet or just on Amazon. They're called running compression socks.
So, so that, some of them are more restricted than others.
Yeah, the ones that, the true support stocking that Cari's talking about, you know, you can get at a medical supply store, those are pretty tough to get on, and it would be hard to get those on and off.
Well, that's really good.
And I think at Fleet Feet, they also help you measure your, the calf and everything before you even look at that house. Yeah.
So Sharon's let me just finish this.
Separate one, I found really work.
I did not know that they
Just got
had
them from
zippered.
Amazon, And they don't go all the way to the toes, they go halfway up the foot kind of. And they're zippered, you pull them up and they're perfect.
I did not know they made zippered compression socks. So on Amazon, Ron was saying zippered compression socks, and then Sharon recommendation was running like at Fleet Feet will actually measure your calf. So you can make sure you're getting the right size. You want to make sure that it's not cutting off any circulation. It's actually enhancing circulation return. So fluid doesn't accumulate in your feet or in your ankles. Okay, yes, last one.
Thing just that I ran into going into Australia, my travel partner and I, we had some nuts for all the snacks on the plane. But we had to give them up when we arrived. They would not let us bring them in.
Why?
Counter that.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. I mean, that's kind of like not bringing water on the plane, you know, you have to have an empty container for it.
Huh. Wow. Yeah, okay, interesting. Okay, awesome.
Zipper compression socks, $16.
$16 on Amazon, zipper compression socks. So I just wanted to thank everybody because I really wanted this to be a discussion because there's just, everybody has their own tips, and vacations are something that really enhance our lives, whether you're staying in your backyard or you're traveling to different countries or just a few states. It does wonders for our souls, and you know, you guys have great tips, and this is exactly how I envisioned this discussion. I wanted it to be a discussion, not a lecture. So I appreciate your assistance. Yeah.
I can't afford to travel a lot, but for anybody that's interested, Camp Sacramento up by Tahoe has a 4-day camp trip for seniors in August. It's $400 and it covers everything, your food, your tie-dye, your whatever you want to do on your own.
Is it travel up to, do they include travel up to Tahoe? Okay.
Is it a tent accommodation?
Pardon? Cabin.
Oh, cabin.
A very rustic cabin.
So Dodie was talking about a 4-day for $400 Camp Sacramento up in Lake Tahoe. Just before Lake Tahoe. It is it for seniors? For anybody?
They do just 4 days for seniors.
And what last 4 days of what?
It starts the 17th of August and goes to the 20th.
Okay, so the end of August, and Dodie will have information here at the Wellness Center sometime next week about it.
Yes, you do. I just take a big jug.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys. That was great.
We need a longer cord. That's the word. Please stop recording.
The camp is 24 hours down for with the baby.
You were there? Oh, yeah. I went there with my kids a couple times, yeah, and then I started going to the senior camp. Yeah, that was a cabin. Yeah. The talent show was wonderful.
I wasn't that president.